Get ready. It's time. Christina, Catherine, Lisa, Amy, and Lauren. Welcome to the Cimorelli podcast.
Hey, I'm Christina.
I'm Catherine.
Hey, I'm Amy.
I'm Lauren.
And we're Cimorelli. Welcome back to
the Something Unhinged already.
Listen, I'm telling you right now.
What?
It's not going to go well for me.
Guys,
she had like Lisa in that moment when she would do that. When she was really tired. She was, never mind.
Oh, okay. I see what
This
you're
is
saying.
this Cimorelli podcast. Episode, is it 163? 4. 164, Zulane.
this episode is sponsored by ZocDoc. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun. It's just an amazing app, and it helps you find doctors in your area. You can read reviews from other people, which is really nice. And I feel like, I don't know, we've talked about this before, but finding a doctor can be very stressful. You don't really know who to trust. You don't know who's available, who's in your area. ZocDoc takes care of all of those kind of what ifs that make finding a doctor stressful and just puts it all right in front of you on the app at the click of a button. It's just such an amazing idea for an app. So we highly recommend checking out ZocDoc. If you want to check it out, go to ZocDoc.com/Cimorelli and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/Cimorelli. ZocDoc.com/Cimorelli.
And today, we are here to the Cimorelli Super Bowl, a.k.a. talk about the Myers-Briggs, a.k.a. the case study of our entire psychological lives. Not really, but one of the biggest case studies we've been doing for like 10 years now.
The Myers-Briggs
we're really
personalities.
Gonna try to not. We could do an individual episode on probably every type.
Absolutely.
And our
Multiple.
theories on them and all these different things.
Wait, we could probably do, I'm not exaggerating, we could probably do 10
dead
episodes
serious.
on one type. We go through every category of their life,
That
every
is
last
true.
thing.
Oh my
Absolutely.
Well, this is the thing.
Not doing that.
It's like we just love to run giant psychological case studies.
We do. There's so
Why?
many
We
of
do.
us. We can really get a good group.
With like personality things, attachment
Because
issues, like everything.
we have 13 people in our family. So when you think about that and all the personality types, it just makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
But
a wild time.
This episode is highly
Highly.
requested,
Ooh,
okay?
yeah.
And I've been putting it off for a bit because I felt like I couldn't do it justice. And then I
Yeah.
realized I just have to lower the bar a little bit and be like, listen, I'm not here to
Overview.
I'm not here to explain every last thing perfectly because it won't work. You have to do your own research.
You do.
So don't
Maybe we can
This
put.
is a jumping off point. for
Don't
you.
don't roast. What's better than that? Don't
my God.
roast me because I'm just gonna be so like, here's the information, moving on. We can't go into the depths.
And Myers-Briggs people, there are people out there that are Myers-Briggs people. I've
the
known some of them.
stands.
Oh my
They
gosh.
have very strong opinions. So you might not agree with some of our takes on things, and that's okay.
Yeah.
There's different ways that you can approach it.
Listen, we're just gals
Guys,
having
they know
a
we're-
laugh.
They Yeah. know we're guys.
All right, let's get into it. So most of you probably don't know what's going on though.
Yeah.
So we'll say that, then we'll get into our highs and lows. So Myers-Briggs is personality types. There's 16 of them. So we're going to go through like what ours are and like an overview of the whole thing. And then you can get into it yourself and figure out what yours is. And hopefully what we say will help you navigate that a little bit. It's really interesting though. Like it is literally one of the most interesting things ever because the information about it that you'll figure out about yourself is just so interesting. And it goes like so deep, even into, okay, whatever, getting ahead of myself. So let's talk about it in a little bit when we get there. So yeah, just telling you. So you're interested? It's really interesting, I'm just saying. And
It's
so
really interesting.
we're going to start with
highs and lows
of the week.
of
Let's
the
just be
week.
brief, guys,
I
because we
was
got
like,
a lot to cover.
Let's breeze through this, people. We got to
breeze.
chat, okay? We really got to chat.
We got a lot to chat about.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
my high. I went out and it was fun.
Love it.
That was a high. If we're thinking about the same thing,
We are.
that was so
It was fun.
iconic.
I went out with my girls. It was fun.
I'm girls.
She was there. Yeah, it
Okay.
was fun. My low was the last day of work last week.
Oh my gosh.
Last Thursday. Oh,
All of our
was not
brains
right.
just left
the station.
not right.
It wasn't that much of a low, but I was just like,
We
I
were
gotta get
all-
out of here. I literally got
It
here.
was
That was
crazy.
that day. I walk in, and just Ariel and I are here. And I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I just got there. I was like, I can't do this.
That
We-
was wild for all of
Yeah.
us.
Hi.
That was a wild
Yeah.
day. Okay, next.
Okay. My high is that I stopped having meltdowns over TikTok every single day.
Okay.
so good.
That's a high for all parties involved. Okay.
Okay.
And my low is that I had meltdowns over TikTok every single day. I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, my low is that I have to deep clean my house I like cleaning, but I'm on a time crunch because I have a house guest coming in tomorrow.
Ooh.
And it's just really, I love cleaning, but I don't like cleaning on a time crunch. So that's just not been,
Yeah,
it's been
absolutely not.
hovering over my head all week. I'm trying to do a little here and there, but it's been a really busy week. I would say my high was that I took my sons to the open gym and
Ooh.
they ran around like
Oh,
little
that was
wild
so
men.
cute.
Yeah, it was really fun. There was like a million toddlers though. I was like, where'd my children go?
I feel like I'd be like, you're all going to get a disease. Oh, no.
You know what? I did think that. I was
Okay,
like, oh,
okay.
I hope no one here is
Yeah,
sick. They
I struggle
probably
with
are. Ugh. But I mean, it is going into summer, so it's less
Yeah.
likely.
And
Not
they're
this season.
fine, so.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Okay, let's see. Similar to Lawrence, my low is just one of those days
We just can't seem to win.
where, yeah, you just
Dust
can't.
yourself up.
Yeah,
Figure
where you're just
something else out.
dead.
Don't try
and
it
you're
again.
like dragging every last limb through every moment of the day because we're doing so much stuff right now, and it's a lot of like emotional, mental stuff. That's why I realized how freaking draining it is to just. You think like, oh, I made the content, blah blah blah. No. Once you post it, that drains the life out of me. Is what I've realized. So anyway, drained after posting all this stuff. I'm like, anyway, and then my high. Oh, this is my high that we're doing this episode. I was awake.
wow.
I was awake in my bed for 2 hours this morning, just reading stuff
That's
Cute.
good.
at
Freshening.
at 4:30 a.m.
Wow.
I
All
woke up
for
at
you guys.
5:30.
It was all for
So
you.
we were up at the same time.
I was just like brushing up and making sure that it was good. I was like
Was it good?
looking.
Like,
Yes, I was just looking
woke
through.
up.
I was just looking through and being like, okay, is this a good outline and like brushing up on different things? And then I was just like, ooh, this is interesting. Let me read about that. Is there a better definition for this? I was like searching and scouring the internet for different definitions of things, but I was having a hard time finding them. But anyway,
Oh, there's so many facets.
doesn't matter.
It's
Is that everyone?
endless.
It is.
The cognitive functions. We're not even going to go there today. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. If you guys have been a fan of the Cimorelli podcast, you know that we love therapy. We're big fans of therapy. It has changed all of our lives. Personally, I've been in therapy for over 10 years now, and it's just really benefited me in more ways than I can count. Even if you don't feel like you have, major mental health, challenges or anything right now, there's just such an amazing benefit to talking to someone who's outside of your normal scope of people and getting an outside point of view from a trusted professional, which is what BetterHelp gives you. So we highly recommend checking it out. Your mental health matters and you matter. So give therapy a try. BetterHelp is just a lot more affordable. It makes it easy to find therapists. They just kind of streamline the process for you. It's a really, really great app if you're wanting to give therapy a try. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Cimorelli today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Cimorelli.
Guys, we got to talk about our favorite thing, food.
Ooh, yes.
Whoa.
Because this episode is sponsored by Green Chef.
Oh, I love that.
We've all gotten that glorious green box at our
Oh.
front door.
Amen.
Am I right? And you get this box to your door. You pull out the meats, the proteins, whatever it is, and then you pull out the paper bags.
Oh, it's so organized.
You get the recipe cards, and it just makes
hits.
your day. So if you have, some stress, don't we all in our lives?
I don't.
And sometimes it can revolve around meal planning. It's
Mine
just,
always does.
just one more thing to add stress to your life.
yeah.
This Green Chef is an incredible solution to that problem. So you don't have to agonize over all your different Pinterest recipes that you, for some reason, want to make a different one each week. My problem. Instead, you pick these out. It's delivered to your door. You don't have to measure. That's my favorite part. You don't have to shop. My second favorite part. you don't have to worry. It just comes to your door. You put it together. And the best thing of all, I would say, is that these meals are restaurant quality.
Oh, they're so
good.
delicious. And they come together in like 40 minutes tops, but usually it's like 30 minutes.
Every time I
they're
make
so
it,
good.
Iconic.
I'm like, Nick, this tastes like a restaurant. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
No, you're
If you want to
right.
impress someone,
Oh
you
my
gotta get
gosh.
Green Chef.
If I wanted to impress someone, I would absolutely make them a Green Chef meal.
Mm-hmm.
It's, yeah, you're right. When I think of all the
So
meals
good.
I would make just on my own, they always have ingredients. That's another thing I love about it. They always have ingredients I would never
Like, so
choose.
refined.
Yes, they have all these new, I have learned a lot of new foods from
Yes.
Green Chef,
Same.
which is awesome.
I love it.
Let me tell you a little bit more about it. So, Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well with dinners that work for you, not the other way around. I love that. Green Chef meals feature seasonal recipes with certified organic fruits and vegetables, organic cage-free eggs, and sustainably sourced seafood.
Love
Hello, it's a no-brainer. So if you want to get this, try it out. We got a deal for you. Head to greenchef.com/Cimorelli60 and use the code Cimorelli60 to get 60% off plus free shipping. That is greenchef.com/Cimorelli60 and use code Cimorelli60 to get 60% off plus free shipping. Your meals just got so much better and less stressful.
I love
Love
it.
it. Here's what we're going to do.
We're going to nerd out.
We're going to give you an overview. We're going to give you an overview of things, and that's it.
What is the
And we'll tell you some ways you could go deeper with it if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is it?
Yeah, what
it
is it
stands
actually?
for Myers, well, people, MBTI is what you'll see a lot, an acronym you'll see a lot. MBTI, personality type. It's Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. So it's just a personality, like theory of personalities.
That was created by Myers and Briggs. That's why it's called that.
That splits people into 16 different personalities. Now, this doesn't mean everyone of one type is identical. It's just more like saying that I think what they're saying, maybe, I don't know, maybe, is that this is like the baseline of like what you'd
A framework.
like what you like if you were clay. I think I've said this one before. If you're like clay, you would have like the same color as that other person, but then life and your experiences will mold you.
Yeah.
So you might be the same color, but it's not going to look exactly the same by the end of it. But you'll have some of the same things at the core
Like tendencies.
that you're working with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a
Traits.
lot of things will affect that. Your life experiences, one thing I think really affects it is your parents. If you are one thing and your parents are both the exact opposite of that one thing, I have one of those examples in my experience, that can really influence that one thing. So let's get into it. So you see a lot. People are like, you might see this in people's dating profiles. They're like, ISFJ. I heard that some people put them, I stumbled across that in my research.
Oh,
So a
I
lot
put
of
that
people
in mine.
Put it in their dating profiles.
Yeah, I see it.
And you're like, why do people keep having 4 letters in their dating profiles? So I'm going to tell you why. It's 4 letters. All of them are 4 letters. And each, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Of each letter, there's only 2 options of what that letter can be. But if you do all the different possibilities of each different 2, it's 16 total. Okay? So we're going to tell you what each of those is. Only 4 letters, and each one only has 2 options. The first one is E or I, which is extrovert, introvert. This might be one of the biggest controversial ones that no one really cares about, but I think it's kind of controversial that people cannot figure out what they are on this one.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I still don't really know how to
It is.
answer that.
This one is one I was really looking for a good explanation on, and it was very hard to find. Some people, it's so obvious. Like, Lauren, have you ever thought you were an extrovert?
No.
No. Some people, I've thought at some point.
Some people
am
told me
kind
I
of
was,
introverted?
though. They're like, oh, you're an extrovert.
Ooh.
I bet it me. I don't know. People that were easy to talk to.
And I think that's because there's a spectrum. All of these, I look at it like a spectrum. That's how I look at this. I look at EI, and you see a spectrum. I don't just see them separate. I see a spectrum. So, like my brother,
love it.
my older brother, oh my gosh, and like
And-
Amy, I would put them on like the far, far, far
Really?
end. I do not.
E.
I do not put myself there. Well, I don't think they were
I always
guessing
forget how
I.
intense I am.
Lauren, how far would you put yourself on the I?
Well, it depends on what you mean by it. Because it's like,
I don't know. Just how introverted do you think you are? When you meet other introverts, are you like, wow,
Oh,
I'm really
okay.
introverted? Or are you
in
like,
the level of introvert, okay, if I was just looking at introvert, this is the most introverted introvert, and this is the most extroverted introvert, I'd say I'm in the middle.
I was gonna say in the middle too.
Because
Yeah.
there's
So you're
people
like
that are
75%.
way more shy than me and
Yeah.
way more like alone time and like
Yeah.
want to be alone than me.
Okay, yes. So anyway, extrovert introvert is really hard to describe, but I think you should just look it up honestly and figure it out for yourself because it's really
it's a
hard
scale, yeah.
to describe. But it's definitely a scale. One of the best ways I would say if you're stuck on I versus E is if you figure out the other letters, then look at the two different ones. If you're like between INTP and ENTP, I've seen that a lot. And you look at those are very different personalities. So if you're confused about those and you're like, wait, INTP, that's totally me, not ENTP. Like those are very different. Or can they tell that? Anyway,
Also,
that helps.
One thing that I always tell people with extrovert versus introvert is it's not about how you are with your friends and the people that you
Yes.
know. Everyone is comfortable with their friends, maybe is loud, goofy,
Hopefully,
whatever.
Yeah.
It's how you are with people you don't know a lot of times. Not always, but a lot of times that can tell you. If you feel pretty comfortable meeting new people and going into a social situation, then you're probably more extroverted. But if you're like, I need to like kind of read the room, assess, this is kind of uncomfortable, that's probably more of an introvert.
And they
people
always
that
say-
warm up usually are introverts.
they always say it's about energy, like where you get your energy from. That's what they always say in
so
all
confusing.
in all these definitions. They say that extroverted people like recharge more when they're with other people and feel really drained
Guys, you will
when
know.
they're alone too long.
Listen, you will know you're an extrovert, okay? If you've ever been in a group of people and you just start going insane because there's so much energy and you're like, that's how you
I've done
know.
that.
They will often
Never
be the
done
ones who will speak without thinking, and then they're like, "Did I really just say that?"
Yeah, extroverts kind of eat their words. They're like, dang
You're
it.
kind of shocked at what came out of your
Whereas
mouth.
introverts are like, I should have said that. And they didn't say it.
But it's not just about quiet versus loud or anything
No.
like that, or shy. Sometimes you're just shy because you have anxiety, not because you're an introvert.
Oh,
But anyway,
so many layers.
for us of E versus I, E,
I
and I put myself closer to I, like closer to the middle of I and E. A lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people about this before, and some people are like, you are such an extrovert. And some people are like, yeah, in the middle, whatever.
I think you're in the
you
middle.
have so much energy, like an
Yeah.
extrovert though, like the way you react and like your facial expressions, like there's so much energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Okay. Okay, let me read you this MBTI online one. Introversion. Wait, they say I stand for. Oh, what it stands for. E. So E, I'll read you theirs and then we'll go on. E stands for extroversion. People who have this personality preference are energized by the outer world of people and things. They generally share their ideas verbally and recharge by being around other people.
Yes.
I do feel like I think by saying it. I don't feel like I can think and then say it, but when I say things, that is like how I can think.
Agreed.
It's the opposite for you. Well, it says, I for introversion, people with this personality preference are energized by their inner world. In contrast to people with preferences for extroversion, introverts use their energy interacting with people and things and gain energy by spending time alone and in their heads.
Yes.
They usually prefer to go through all their ideas and then share them out loud.
Yes.
That's no for me. I'm like, please, can I talk to you about this thing
No,
so I
I'm
can
like, I need
figure
to
out
talk.
what my idea is?
Yeah.
I have to do that all the time. Like, please, I need to talk to someone. Please, please.
Yeah. Or I
please,
just,
please.
when I care about someone else, I just talk to myself out loud.
Yes, yes,
I'm like,
yes.
so
All day.
this is what we're thinking.
I'm like, but we, yes.
I do that too.
Yeah, I say
we do have
I say
some
we a
overlap,
lot.
and I think it's part of our extrovert natures is what overlaps.
We
with
share
us.
2 letters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We do. We share.
We share
2
two
letters.
letters
Also,
too. Yeah.
we share 1 letter.
But you guys see, you seem so much more similar
Lauren and
than
I
that.
share.
But
one
we're
letter.
similar birth orders.
And that does add a lot.
3 letters. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, but
Who?
Lauren and
You
I
guys share
do
the
not.
most.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
When I think of how Lauren's brain works, I'm not like that is. I'm not like that's how my brain works at all.
No, but
when
you
I think
guys-
of her brain towards like romance boys, I'm like, okay, that's really similar
Yeah,
to
okay,
me.
that's where it's overlap.
But her how like no, I've never. Lisa, oftentimes Lisa. I'll answer for Lisa too.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lisa's an I.
Well, it's not that obvious. Everyone's like, oh, she's
It's
such
not
an
obvious,
extrovert.
yeah.
Oh,
Lisa's
No.
very loud and outgoing,
She
but she's an introvert.
is the queen of inner world and has to like sit there and journal for 10 billion years before she's like saying whatever it is, processing
but
everything.
she's so good at knowing what she thinks.
She's such an
Very
introvert.
introspective.
If you talk to her, I feel like it's like, you are such an introvert.
Yeah, but if you don't talk to her, you'd just be like, wow, she's got a lot of wacky energy.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Second option for a letter is N or S.
Ooh.
So the S stands for sensing preference. People who have the letter S in your MBTI type tend to process things in a step-by-step linear sequence. I don't know if this describes very well. And observe and remember specific information. Does this make sense?
Yes.
They also tend to focus on the facts and what can be observed through their 5 senses. What can be observed through your senses? Does that describe it well to you?
Kind of.
Yes.
Like, I relate to it, but it's not like the best thing I've heard describing.
Yeah. So that's how they process things, I guess. The N stands for intuition. I is already used for introverts, so we can use that one. Obviously. They say we already, so that's why I said we. They say we already, but I'm like, we? Okay. People who have a preference for intuition generally learn by seeing the big picture and themes and thinking about how specific information is connected.
I feel like I'm an N spoiler, and I think that N's are more abstract thinkers. We think of things in sort of like feelings and vibes, and like, oh, like you might have a memory of like, oh, you went to this party and you're like, I just remember it felt kind of like this, or like, oh, that person I talked and it like you remember how you felt and kind of like but it's kind of like a blurry, like an abstract picture, whereas I feel like S's are more like a photographic memory of like they can describe the details more than like the sort of vibe, I guess.
think a great example is writing. If you are a writer, if you write songs, or if you're a journaler, okay, or more than that, you just write whatever the heck, poems. If you look at your writing and you describe the lamp post, the color, the blah, 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 I have to do that on purpose. I have to think like, oh, I want to describe something. I have to actually like make myself do that. I don't naturally do that, think of any of those things. But oftentimes an S will like naturally think of the crackling fire. I'm trying to think of things that are like those specific things. If you put those in your writing naturally, you may lean, and you don't have to even like tell yourself, I should include that. Like the color of their eyes or things like that maybe. But I'm thinking N would tend more towards the, okay, if I just,
Perhaps.
I will just tend to write how I'm feeling, I guess, whatever. But I remember specifically when I was writing like headlines, I think, or that whole time for Up at Night, I was intentionally trying to put like sensory kind of things in, but I had to try really hard. It was like very challenging for me. I would never think of that.
See, I write as an N, I think of a feeling, and then I think of what images describe the feeling. So I try to make it concrete, but I'm coming from a kind of abstract
I'm saying
feeling.
I was trying to think. I was thinking of a situation with a guy, and I was thinking how I felt. Then I had to go, and what was there in the material world during that time? Like not
that stuff I don't remember.
not trying to describe a feeling with material things, trying to remember and think about what things would have been in that situation in a material place was very hard.
Yeah, it's
But
hard.
I love listening to songs that have those things in them, that put a picture in your head. I love that. But it's just harder for me to do. Another thing we've noticed about N versus S, that S often tend to be like gifted with aesthetic things and like knowing how to make things look pleasing to the eye.
Yeah.
But into their outfits.
They're like, a
Hair
lot of times they're
makeup.
better with decor or like their outfits, yeah.
Instagram.
It's like their
if you-
physical environment.
Someone's Instagram feed, oftentimes it's like that's an S feed, that's an N feed. The S like has these artsy things, whatever. They have like those really cohesive looking things oftentimes. That's more of like a girl thing, I would say. The cohesive thing. Well, no.
There's a lot of S men that have like a whole theme.
They have a whole theme, it's cohesive.
I
blah, blah.
feel like S's are just also very stimulated by sensory things. Like they like to create a vibe with their senses. Like I love to do that, to like make a thing that matches how I feel visually. Like
I do have to say, thinking of your Instagram feed, not every S does that. Because Amy does not do it. Well, you think yours is one of those?
No.
Yours is not even
No,
close to
that's
one of
more
those.
an ISFJ
You have
thing.
never tried to do that in your life, have you?
No.
Have you? Have you?
No.
I'm just saying.
No, you're very right.
I think it's more ISs.
Well,
Yeah,
is that...
okay.
See, I don't think that's a insult, because I don't give one rip back.
It was
but
just funny.
if you're an S, is that an
It's a
insult?
little
maybe?
bit of an insult.
Okay, see, I don't give one
I was
rip.
gonna say my feed is a dumpster fire and I'm an N.
I
No,
don't think
my
that's an
feed is
insult at all.
not. I would like for it to be pretty. But
I would love
it's-
that. I just,
No,
my
but
brain
not-
doesn't work that way.
Yeah, not every S
It's
I'm
like, oh,
saying
cool
will
post.
have this perfect thing, whatever. I'm just saying that's one way I've noticed that it will manifest.
The other thing I think about S and N, which I think this is true, is S's are usually more practical thinking. And
Yeah.
N's are usually more like idea, where an S is more thinking of like what's practical.
Yeah. Yeah. It's abstract versus concrete.
It's like when I do Lauren's take and she asks me these whack questions, I'm like, that's not real.
Oh yeah, S's are not as much into like thought experiments, depending.
Yeah.
Another thing, okay, I know people are getting mad for all of our random ideas we have if you're like really into it, but another thing we're talking about like with dating and guys and looking for an S guy.
Yes.
Something
No,
about if you see
when I went back on the dating apps, the time that I met my husband after being on them a million times, I literally said, you know what? I'm just gonna look for an ISFJ.
and they're so easy to
Because I
spot.
realized I was like, that's the type that I'm gonna be with. I just know it. And then I was like, oh, this guy looks like an ISFJ. Okay, cool. And then I picked a few, and then I found one that was.
Well, oftentimes with guys, it's like an S guy. Well, you can tell when he, like his clothes, you can tell. An S versus an N, oftentimes.
Yeah, I would say there's like two different ways it can go with an S. It's like they have like a certain style, and they're into their style and their aesthetic, and it's put together, or it's very clean and very like they have cuffed pants. They have this certain haircut.
Their hair.
They have like everything's
details.
just very like put together in like a clean way, whereas N's, I mean, I am an N, sometimes it can be a little more disheveled. Like we're just kind of thrown together. Like not that S's can't be at times, but that would be on purpose. That would be part of the
That
look.
would be part of their look. They're like, I have this.
They're like, I'm a disheveled person.
whatever you want to call it.
Whereas I
look.
feel like N's are just
That's
kind of
how it
like,
goes.
I was literally thinking about this concept and I just put on random shoes and I don't care. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's being stimulated by sensory things.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of stuff like that where like the look of it is very different. Oh, decorating their room, their house,
Oh my
whatever.
gosh.
Being
I hate
able
that.
to make a room look really nice. Not every S, of course, knows exactly how to do that, but a lot of S's, they will just put together something that looks really beautiful.
Yeah.
With a lot less effort. I have to like really try to figure out how on earth that can make sense. So when we talk about the spectrum, N and S, just because you are an N doesn't mean you don't do those things. Just because you're an S doesn't mean you don't do those things. But they may have take a lot more effort for you. They may not be natural. And they may have been, you may have gotten them from someone in your family. Lauren's a great example. She's an S, but she is surrounded by N's. Both of our parents are N's. So I should say that. I'm an N, Cass an N, Lauren's an S, Amy's an S. So Kath and I, her older sisters, Lisa, three of her oldest older sisters, and her mother. So all the oldest female.
And my brother Alex is right older than
Oh my gosh, and Alex right there, and our dad.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like surrounded by
Oh,
N's.
yeah.
And having both parents as N's, like that, I think really
It
adds to
really
it.
adds to it.
It's like very N dominant house.
Yeah.
And that's just like the way,
Yeah, I always felt kind of like an alien. I was like, what?
which is interesting. That's really
You
interesting.
know, I was in between two exact opposites of me. So I was like,
So it's interesting for Lauren as an S to have such strong N influence. I think it brings her I think it almost brings you like right in the middle. It's like you can like be strong S, have these moments, but you can also really come to the strong N side and like
Yeah.
really
we'll blame my Instagram feed on that.
she can have a conversation that is very much intuitive, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to describe this, but sometimes it's like you talk to an S and it's like, what? But then there's a lot of them
Wait.
as an N. You might talk to some S's and they just
Like
like,
a really
they don't want to go there.
Opposite. I feel like S's talk to me and they're like, what the heck did you
Yeah,
say?
yes.
And I'm like, I don't even know what I said. That was really confusing. And S's are very like concrete, and I feel like they're better at explaining things in like a factual, like just get to the point.
What?
type of
I feel
way.
like I'm really good at that.
No, you are, but she's
But
saying
maybe because you're a
general-
T. Maybe
general
it's an
rule.
NF combo.
Yeah, the combo.
Sorry, guys, we're already speaking in
The
letters.
combos really matter.
Ugh.
Okay, let me say that also. The combos. We'll get to that. We'll get to it. Okay, we'll get to it because if someone is an N and they also are a T, which we'll get to, that can really shake things up. Versus if they have an F there as the next letter, that can really change
one
things.
time I did a podcast with another guy that was an NF, and I was literally like, I don't know what we just said. Like it was so confusing, and it didn't make any sense, and I was freaked out. I was like, this is bad. I need someone to come get me, some S come get me, and just tell me to calm down.
Okay, now let me go to the next one, which is T versus F.
This is probably the easy. I feel like
This is the easiest.
This
This
no,
is so
I
easy.
think P or J is the easiest.
That is easy too.
Yeah, this is
Those
my
two with
second
the
easiest.
second half are very
This
easy.
is the easiest. Okay, so this is easy. This is thinking versus feeling. It doesn't mean you don't think or you don't feel. Thinking means the letter T is for thinking. People who have this preference tend to make decisions based on pros and cons, weighing logical consequences from an objective point of view. Notice that S one said something about like logic and facts or whatever, which I thought was kind of weird because really this is the real. This is the real.
But it
Logic.
makes sense though, because S's, that's why I'm saying they're a little more practical.
Concrete. A
Yeah.
little more concrete, a little less in the clouds.
Yeah.
But okay, so easy, T. So I'm a T. I'm the only one. Lisa is a T. And I
Lisa's a major
Before
T.
we learned about this, I always knew there was something about Lisa and I where I'm like, Lisa gets it.
They
don't. About like about logic. No, about logic. Logic.
Listen,
Fact, logic. And
I've
Lisa
never
gets it.
claimed to be logical ever.
It's not that you're all illogical, it's just that Lisa and I would think that way and talk that way. And it would be, I knew there was something different.
Listen, if
I knew
you
it was different about
ever
the way we talked.
want to speak to one of them, it's like doing a geometry proof. Literally, it is.
Not speak to
Okay,
it.
wait, let's
Well,
get
in that way, when you get into that road, yes.
Okay, F, which I feel like, yeah, that's easy to tell. F
It is.
indicates someone who has a preference for feeling, meaning they make decisions based on how those decisions might affect other people involved.
Yeah.
That is a very good description. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not really much to say about that.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I could think about all these different things and care about feelings, but then when my brain will just automatically, when I'm making a decision, I will just go fact, pro, con, fact, logic, fact.
No.
And then I'll have to go, wait a minute. New fact we've learned is people don't want to be around you if you don't consider their feelings. So I pull that fact in and I go, feeling.
Oh, then I gotta go, listen, these feelings, they gotta go. You need to pull a fact in somewhere.
You have to like stop yourself and you can develop.
Yeah.
I would say I'm a very strong T and I have developed
You really have.
the F side because I am surrounded by
I'm married to an F too.
My mom is one. Yeah, it is weird being the woman as a T and the man as an F because it does tend to go more the other way. So it's a little bit weird. It's not all the time, but I guess maybe it's just not. They don't seem to be as many women T's. I would say actually are a lot of guys who are F's.
Yeah, and there's definitely a scale. Like, some people are so F that it's almost kind of like, it seems sometimes like their decisions are just very, like, emotional and not really, like, logical.
Yeah.
And there's some people that are so T that they're super insensitive to other people's feelings.
Well,
and
and they're so logical that actually doesn't make sense in the real world anymore.
Yeah, it's like
that's not real.
Yeah, your logic is like okay, not okay. So moving on. Last one. This one's really easy too. J versus P. There are a few people where they're kind of in the middle, and I can see how that could get there. Or it's like their mental issues kind of make them lean more towards one or the other.
Yeah.
Like so if you, like OCD can kind of make you almost more like J in some ways.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
And
anxiety
ADHD can make you
and
more
depression.
P.
ADHD can make you more of a P, which is interesting. Or have like
the traits.
It can make you think like, oh, I'm a P because of those things, right? So J stands for judging. I don't understand what people who have a preference for judging are the list makers and planners. They like to have a structure and schedule to their time and will generally space out projects so they get work done a bit at a time. Since I was a child, I learned very young how to spell the word schedule, SCHEDULE, and I would write out my whole day, and I would like to know.
I love that.
How old were you when you ordered a planner?
I was 6 when I got my first planner. Okay, I like to plan. I like to make lists. I like to have things numbered. I like bullet points. I like to know. Jay's often asked, like, so what's the plan?
Where do we go?
Yeah.
How do we
What
get
time?
They want to know
Where do we park?
so
Where do we
annoying.
park when we get
What do we
there?
wear?
No offense, I like answering questions, but I literally planned a gathering recently and all my J siblings text me, so what's going on? They asked me everything that I already sent. I'm like, guys, I literally sent all this information. And you asked me like 3 times for it. Like, I just gotta double check the info.
She's the P.
Oh.
I'll read P. So she's the P, and us
alone
three.
P in this group.
Us 3 are J.
Lisa's a P too.
Yes, Lisa,
Oh,
come back.
Lisa is such a P.
Diddy's also a P. We miss your energy.
Love that.
The P energy. Perceiving. The letter P stands for perceiving, and people with this preference are the ones who want flexibility in their lives and in how their time is managed. They would rather be open to new opportunities for events and like making decisions on the fly. That's
Absolutely
terrifying.
not. No.
And
Snaps.
can sometimes enjoy working on things at the last minute or on their own schedule. I don't know about that line as much, but
Yeah.
P's can just be like, oh yeah, we'll play by ear, whatever, we'll figure it out. You tell them you're doing something, they're just like, yeah, whatever. They're not like, well, what's the
Go with
plan?
the
What's the
flow.
situation?
Yes.
They don't
Okay.
have their whole day
This
and everything
is
planned out.
such a big difference that I think. It's the difference between when you're scheduling a call with someone. They either say, oh, I'm free after 6. Or they say, I'm free at this specific time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, I would never do that.
Wait, since children, I do
I
that
would say
now.
after, because I'm trying to give them a
Okay,
range.
but before that, because I hate it when someone's like, oh, I'm just free. Just call any time during this.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
not
What?
real.
Absolutely not.
You're sitting there free. You're just sitting there on your couch the whole night. No. I can't
Sometimes.
just call you anytime, and I want to know when we're going to talk.
You know what else they do? A J will often, you have plans, you have a call, they will say, hey, we still have a call at this time. Just
Yes.
I hate that.
Yes.
I'm like, what do you think? I'm so I know that
No,
this
I'm
drove
like,
away and never gonna come back.
no,
yes.
yes.
We don't
We
know.
just made plans.
And
Yes,
we,
I'll be there.
And we would like to know.
We
I
would
hate
like
that.
to know.
We planned our day around this.
No, like, I'm like, you confirmed yesterday, that's not enough. How do I know if you're
What
going
else
to be
do you
there?
think I am?
Well, that's a different problem.
Yes.
Still, I'm like, how
So
do
a
we
J
know?
wants to just make sure, like, hey, just making sure I got the plan right, making sure everything's good, just double checking, following up, checking in, whatever. And a P
Oh my
might
gosh.
just make the plan and just. I remember Nick when we first started dating. He's P, and his name's Kath, and I would just be. Yeah, like 45 minutes before, I'd be like, are we still hanging out, whatever, and he would just make a plan and just, like, never follow up at it. So the first couple weeks, I thought, oh my gosh, he's gonna cancel. I kept thinking he was canceling, but he was never canceling. He just didn't need to, like, keep following up, I guess. So, anyway, that was an easy one, J versus P. So, now, if we say what each one of us is, I'll just say it and then read the short thing on it. Okay, so... First of all, I will read mine. ENTJ.
Woo!
Frank, decisive. Assume leadership readily. Quickly see illogical and inefficient procedures and policies. Develop and implement comprehensive systems to solve organizational problems. Love it. Enjoy long-term planning and goal setting.
Amen.
Usually well-informed, well-read. Enjoy expanding their knowledge and passing on to others.
Well informed,
Yes.
well read, I love
Forceful in presenting their ideas.
it. Could be.
Very true. That's true. Now we have ENFP.
And I also want to say something really quick. I feel like people are like, oh, what's the best type? People have said that before. I'm like, there's no best type. They all have good and bad things.
I agree.
They all have pros and cons.
Oh, you know what I should say also? When we're talking about J's and P's, so our parents are both P's. I am a
yeah.
J. Here's a great example. I have adopted a lot of P things. I will say like, oh yeah, we'll play by ear. I'll say that stuff, but let me tell you, listen to that. Here's a J. When I was a child, I'm talking 6, 7 years old, I went in the house and I set all the clocks to, what did I set them to? What's the opposite? What way do you want to set it? Late?
Early.
Set them all late.
Late.
I set all the clocks late as a child because I was sick of being late. And I have vivid memories. I went in my mom's bathroom and I changed her watch. Because it was one of those ones you could change. I have vivid memories
It's like,
of
I'm sick of this.
sitting in the car like this.
I remember this.
Because my mom wouldn't get in the car so I could be a couple minutes early to gymnastics.
Oh,
And
that's
I was
rough.
so upset and so stressed because I want to get there early, on time, whatever. And after a while, I gave it up.
Because as a J, you need to get there early to suss out the environment.
Yes. I gave up on it, and now I'm like, whatever happens, happens. That's not my natural states. That is not it. But I have these PE parents who just broke me as a J.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know if y'all relate to this. I don't care what the plan is, really, as long as I know what it is.
No, I care.
When I say we'll play it by ear, you're playing it by ear. My mind is making up what's going to happen by ear. I'm just not saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Love it.
Because I'm like, we can have it. I'm not super picky about, like, what we do or blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I need to know exactly what's going on and when and where I'm going to park.
Yeah. Okay, let me go with Cass. ENFP. Warmly enthusiastic and imaginative.
Cool.
See life as full of possibilities. Makes connections between events and information very quickly. And confidently proceed based on the patterns they see. Want a lot of affirmation from others and readily give appreciation and support.
I love that.
Spontaneous and flexible. Often rely on their ability to improvise and their verbal fluency. Oh, that's what Nick is, verbal fluency.
Oh, yeah. I would say I'm
What
very
does
verbal.
connecting events to whatever you said?
Oh, I remember, I've seen this in so many things for ENFP. It's like, we're good at, like, I feel like I say random stuff all the time. People are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, there's a red bird there. And then this thing over here. It's like, I don't know why, but I see things as like, I see everything as connected, like, in the world. I don't know why. And like, or like, oh, you guys are both wearing a red shirt. Or like, I'll just see like these things that are the same and put them together. Yeah, patterns.
Lauren, ISFJ. I believe a lot of our viewers are also, we noticed
No, isn't this the most common type?
A lot of ours are ISFJs and INFP. No, most common, according to everything I see online, to me is just utter trash. Sorry.
What did they say?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I remember reading it and being like, what? And then like, the least common, whatever. When they say the most rare is this, the most common is this, how on earth would they know that? How on earth would they know that?
Well, because everyone taking the test, we're all just like taking it based on our self-perception, which it's not always accurate.
Oh,
And
I will say,
probably certain types are way more likely to even take the test in the first place. So how would they have this data?
That's true.
Where are they getting that?
Yeah, there's a lot of Myers-Briggs haters.
Okay, let me keep going.
INTJs. Anyways.
ISFJ.
Lauren.
I think
And my
ISTJs are
husband.
big haters of it. Yeah. Okay, ISFJ. Quiet, friendly, responsible, conscientious, committed and steady in meeting their obligations, thorough, painstaking, and accurate, loyal, considerate, notice and remember specifics about people who are important to them, concerned with how others feel, strive to create an orderly and harmonious environment at work and at home.
I love that.
True.
I love that.
True.
But it's funny because Lauren has such a developed end too, that I feel like Lauren also has this sort of artsy, abstract side to her.
I feel like my whole personality was kind of smashed with a sledgehammer by this family because so much of the ISFJ stuff, I'm like, I do not relate to that at all because mom and dad, both of them are almost like complete opposite. Dad is the literal opposite of my personality. And like, just like a lot of the classic traits, I'm just like, I never did that. I never felt that way. But all those are true. That's not true.
Okay, Amy's.
I'd better be good. I don't like most descriptions of mine.
Really?
Amy, stop hating yourself.
Okay, ESFJ. Tell me how bad this is. Warm-hearted, conscientious, cooperative.
Yeah.
Want harmony? You'll notice similarities between the two because ESFJ versus ISFJ. Similar, but not the same, but similar. Work with determination to establish the harmony.
Wow.
Like to work with others to complete tasks accurately and on time.
Yes.
Loyal.
Yes, I
Follow through even in the small matters.
Yes, I do.
Notice what others need in their day-by-day lives and try to provide it.
Yes,
That
I
is
do.
true.
Queen.
Want to be appreciated for who they are and for what they contribute.
Yes, I do.
Love it.
Cute.
Okay, that was bad. When I first took the test, the description of ESFJ, which is what I got, which was real, was so bad. I was like, this is not me.
What was like? What about
I
it?
don't remember.
What?
I remember it being
I gotta
like,
go back and look at this.
I just remember being like, oh, they like to gossip. And I was like,
What do
I
Do
don't
you-
even
do
think.
Do you not know every fact about every celebrity's personal
It
life?
just didn't make sense to me until I went through all of them and then
Just saying.
I went
Amy.
through every letter individually and put them together, and that's how I figured out what I was. But no, it
You were
was
thinking
all
maybe like mean-spirited
they were
gossiping. You don't do that.
they were no, it was all like head cheerleader, like blah 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 things. I was like,
What?
That's
like
not quite
social blah blah, which I am, but like
Okay.
it just didn't make sense.
I should say that the actual descriptions of these are way longer than
Longer.
what I just read. They're every category of your life, like in relationships, in career, in blah,
Yeah.
blah, way
This is in a
longer.
nutshell.
What I just read was just like random characteristics. That was not even it. And also, I should say, if you want to get really into this, look up cognitive functions of whatever type.
Oh yeah,
And it will tell you, like,
so
the
good.
first function uses extroverted thinking dominates the way you think.
Oh, that
And
is
then
such a great
Introverted
aspect.
feeling. That is really helpful for figuring out what you are. Because it will say, like, what is it? What's yours? Introverted sensing? Is the first one. It's where you recall how you did
did
things
something
before.
and that's how you feel
and
comfortable.
it's
like, do them
interesting
again.
because ours are the same, but like the orders are flipped.
Interesting.
So
Like
good.
my first one is extroverted feeling, and second is introverted sensing. I think it's flipped on hers.
So interesting thing about that is if you think about that, I'm going to say this one example and then you can look it up. So one example is Lauren introverted sensing. So if the way that she, like her dominant function, the way that her brain like really likes to work is recalling how you did something before for how to do it, and there's more to describe that, a person like that is not going to be wanting to jump into random new experiences 24/7 versus someone like my
Me.
brother Michael. Okay, or you,
Oh, you.
who likes it. I don't like
Loves
it.
You
new
always want to do things
experiences.
different every time. Like, why can't we do it the same?
Okay, that's
we
true.
did
That's
it.
true. That's true. I'm like, let's do something new. Let's try a new way. Lauren's like, can't we do the same way? Like, we can't do the same way all the time. It's like we didn't do it more than once. But that's an interesting thing to look up for that. That really takes it to a new
Yeah.
place. Look that up. Cognitive functions. Okay.
so good.
So here's something interesting we found. Utopia Project. I don't know what that is, honestly, but we found this thing where they did the deviant roles, and they were saying basically sometimes, well, the writing on that website is just wild. It's very out there, but it's funny. A lot of people will like, they said type hoppers. They'll be like, oh, but I want to be this one. I want to be this one, whatever. Like this one seems better, whatever. But they're like, if we change it to like the negative things of all the types,
Sometimes it's easier to see the negative things about you.
Mm-hmm.
and you're not so much like, oh, I want that bad thing. It helps in a little bit. I think it helps a lot actually for to figure out what you are is the negative one. So what they did was they did categories, and this was interesting. They put them together in these categories. NFs. So everyone with an N and an F, right? It's hard to explain, but only 2 letters. And you're kind of like, I don't know how to explain, whatever. I won't explain it. So everyone who has an N and an F.
So that's ENFP, INFP,
ENFJ.
ENFJ, INFJ, NF.
Catherine is that at this table. And the deviant role title for that group is self-righteous do-gooders.
Oh, I love that.
When we read that, what did you think of that the first time you ever
I
heard
was like,
that?
oh, that's me.
Like, that's true.
I think at the time I was on like 3 or 4 different volunteer committees. I was like, okay.
NFs almost like entirely run the church. Like they
Yes.
and SJs often do too though because of a sense of
but
duty.
yeah,
It's sense of duty. But
Yeah.
NFs are always volunteering for things, signing up. My freaking husband volunteers a lot of his time.
I feel like us NFs, we have like a bleeding heart. We're just like, oh, the children in Africa. Like we're just like, oh, we care too
Yes,
much.
they're doing like missionary things. They're volunteering, blah blah. That is very common.
very cause oriented and
Activists.
justice, like the injustice. Oh,
Okay, the next one is NT. So intuitive and thinker. Lisa is an NT. I am an NT.
so this is ENTJ, INTJ, INTP, ENTP, NT.
High functioning sociopaths. When Lisa and I read that, we were like, yep, that's true. That's true.
I feel like the NTs have a very large relevancy filter.
Because there's a time as NTs we just take things in our brains. We're kind of like robots. We just take things to a place where we can lose all the humanity, and we have to program humanity back in.
Yeah.
And this is something I've noticed about NTs is like, yes, they're Ts. They're very logical. But NTs, you got to be careful. They're slippery eels. They can trick themselves.
With their logic.
They take their logic and they're like, oh, well, they'll find a fact that proves something, but it's not actually like,
real.
yeah. And then they're like, oh, well, actually. And you're like, no, that's not. You slippery eel.
And they know when they're doing that. Even though they're trying to convince themselves, they know. They know.
Oh, well, this bad thing's technically not bad because A, B, C, D. See, I just proved it wrong. No, it's still bad. It's just like, yeah.
Okay, SJs. So ESFJ, ISFJ, ESTJ, ISTJ. De-individualizers. It's an interesting description.
See, that was interesting for me because I'm like, I am not a de-individualizer. Like, I am an individual myself. I'm not like, oh, I gotta be like everyone else. And I'm not like, you should be like everyone else. Like, I support people being different. But then I think about how many times I do this facial expression when people talk that's like, that was weird. When they do something that's like not normal. And I'm like,
Yeah.
De-individualizer, the way I see it with SJs, they run society. They keep
do.
social norms,
Yes.
trends, rules,
Structure.
SJs, rules and structure. All the SJs,
Yeah,
all
and
four
they're
of
like, I'm married to an ISFJ too, and I feel like it's always just like, he's just like, okay, well, this is how things are, and there's a system for everything.
and like, oh, this is what's cool. This is what people do. So we will do that.
That
That's
is
what they
SJs.
do.
It's
That
just
is
like
a
the
great
giant
example.
normies. Just like,
Yes.
Just normal person. Especially, okay, I feel like SJs usually have good style that's very like normal.
neutral.
Yes.
Like
Trendy.
they're like
Yeah.
up on like not like trendy, like whoa, so trendy, but
Yeah,
just
no.
like just the right amount of trendy. That's like
It's
oh,
more
this
like
is,
trendy
cool.
and fits in.
Yeah.
Not trendy like bizarre trend. Like, oh, a normal trend that
Yeah.
people wear.
I think
They're
that
very-
those are really helpful to think of. So that whole category, they are running
like-
society, keeping the norms. All the
Yeah.
NFs, it's like they're the self-righteous do-gooders. They're out there volunteering.
And,
everywhere.
I
and
just
the
saved
bad
an
thing
animal.
about the NFs is that I think we can be very self-righteous. Like,
Yes.
NFs convince themselves, kind of similar to the NTs, like, we can convince ourselves that we can do no wrong.
Is it
Because
of,
we
like,
have good intentions.
Mind Palace thing?
We're like, well, I didn't mean to do something wrong, blah, 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 even though you did something wrong. You just have to admit it. And I think that's the annoying thing about us NFs is we just like, yeah, we can be on our high horse very,
Ah.
very easily. We jump right up there. We're like, oh, high horse, yes, I'm back.
love
It's a
it.
bad thing.
for the NTs, high functioning sociopaths, I feel like it's all just a lot of mind stuff going on. We're always thinking of
My mind palace.
of like theories and concepts and blah 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 and constructing all these different things mentally all the time.
Okay, if you've seen Sherlock Holmes with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, I want to rewatch that. So good.
Cumberbatch.
Baffle Waffle.
Cumberbatch. I don't know. I feel like that character is such an NT. I think he's an INTJ maybe in it.
Oh,
Just very analytical and just like, ooh, my mind palace.
And last one is SPs. So ESFP, ESTP, ISTP, and ISFPs. Selfish thrill seekers.
Yeah, Lisa gets so annoyed.
Are
at
the
me.
people that literally like I can't I clash a lot with my brother who's like that because I say be careful, be careful, be careful.
Ooh,
be
yeah,
careful.
they live on the
careful.
edge, impulsive, dangerous. No, that's not always
They
true.
don't all live on the edge
No, no,
and
no,
impulsive
no,
and
no.
dangerous.
No, a lot of them do though. But
No, the E ones.
yeah,
E, if it's
E,
E
yeah.
and then it's an SP, yes.
okay.
I and then SP. I'm thinking of all the, especially ISTPs I know.
They like to like drive fast or like do like adrenaline things.
Yeah,
The ones
but
that I know.
think more than the adrenaline, the mark of the SP is, which I think
Risk?
goes with this, is no artisans.
Talent with their hands.
Okay,
Yeah.
these are people that they can
Yeah.
work a camera,
Pick
they
up
can
an
work,
instrument, figure
they
it
can
out.
play a bunch of instruments, or
Cooking.
They're really good at doing makeup. They're
Do
really
something
good
together
at painting
in the kitchen.
Yeah, they can. They're like kind of a jack of all
Figure out
trades.
how to draw.
They can pick something up and just learn it really quickly and almost effortlessly.
It's like a sensory. They can, things that are like physical, they can just figure it out.
yeah.
Like, how do you
Yeah,
do all
I
those
wonder
things?
if it's because they're not stuck in their head so much like the J's and they can just like
Okay,
try everything and they're not like concerned.
I'm thinking of our brother Michael.
They love a thrill.
He's great at guitar. He is so good at cooking randomly. Let me tell you, he has not followed probably one recipe
He's a great
in his
cook.
entire life.
whole 34 years ever.
Has a motorcycle.
He loves
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 the
riding a
thrill.
motorcycle.
Really good at photography.
He just picked up photography.
Yeah.
Just picked
it's
it
like
up
effortless.
and is really good at it.
Also,
All
our
the
sister
things he
Danny
does.
is an ESFP, and she also is like
She does
so
so
good at every like thing that she does. She's so good at it.
And they just pick, oftentimes they'll just pick up a lot of different things. These are the people where they're like, oh, I play 10 instruments, or I just picked this up and just figured it out.
Yeah,
It's like
how?
a little bit of everything. Kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, they'll give it a
Yes.
whirl.
and I think one of the key things, like obviously any type can be good at an instrument or
Yes,
good at,
yes.
but it's just like
But it's
one of my friends
different.
I think she's an ISTP, and she like does all these random different things, plays an instrument, did different sports, things like that. And she also was like, oh yeah, I made this craft for my kids for Advent, and she cut out all of these like really cool. She literally out of like construction paper made this like amazing like kids timeline of the Bible with all these different shapes and stuff. And I'm like, you literally made that like just on the whim, just whipped it out of nowhere, like crazy.
Thought of another one Michael did. Building computers, putting together,
Taking
fixing
things
cars.
apart.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of them are like engineers too.
They just like figure out how to, and I'm thinking of a big distinction between that and our brother Alex, who I'm guessing also does the same kind of thing, building computer stuff. Alex isn't out here picking up all these things and like, oh, now I'm going to try this cooking thing. Alex, different. Okay, so Michael cooking.
Yeah, by the way, Michael's an ESTP.
Yes.
Alex is an INTJ.
Is that the exact opposite?
No.
Oh, just they have a
They
T.
both
to
have
it.
a
Both
T.
T's.
So Michael, ESTP, so SP, selfish thrill seeker, whatever. He'll just like throw together things here and there and like just try it out and experiment. And he's like, I made this amazing salad with this like chicken on top, and it's got all these cool things. And I threw this sauce, whatever that. And he used to make those huge salads. Remember that were like so
Oh my
good.
gosh, yes.
And it was like a restaurant, whatever. And he's like experimenting with his burgers, like trying all these different
Oh,
types.
his
Like throw
burgers
this
are
on that.
so
He always
good.
has random tools out.
Throw
as he's
this
working
on. Yeah,
something.
whatever. Yeah, he always had so many random tools out and stuff he was working on.
Projects, yeah.
Alex, our brother, sourdough. He like
Oh, yeah.
researches all of it and then is experimenting with
Very
if I do
detailed,
this
prepared.
a bit and that a bit.
Very like scientific. With the way he
INTJ.
approached it. It's not
And-
really experimental as
And
much.
he's been doing this for years. The same thing with sourdough. Sticking on sourdough.
Oh, it's so good.
and perfecting it and then like
Yeah.
grinding his wheat berries.
Now he's growing wheat. It's
Yeah, he's really like cultivating. So it's like, it doesn't mean that one is more talented or has a better product. Anyone can be,
different.
a graphic designer or a instrumentalist, whatever. But it's like, it's almost like I feel like SPs, it's like an effortless, like they.
Well,
They just
okay,
pick
I
things
feel
up.
like also the difference between me and Danny, because me and Danny are both like visual, like crafty, but she would do so many more things than me. Like she's like, oh, I'll just learn sewing. Oh, I'll make
Yeah.
my prom dress. Oh, I'll do
Yeah.
this. Oh, I'll
make
learn
my
graphic
prom
design
dress.
right now. Where it's like, I'm so much more like slow to like learn and try something, where that SP thing is just like, I'll just try it. I'll just give it a whirl. And she's good at every single thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What? Okay, so firstly, we should just really quick name our family from oldest to youngest in types.
my
From
God.
parents. Ready?
Oh gosh.
you go.
Dad. No, do it. Ready?
Oh.
Do it together.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh.
Dad.
ENTP.
Mom.
INFP.
Michael.
ESTP.
Me.
ENTJ.
Kath.
ENFP.
Lisa.
INTP.
I guess we should slow-
Amy.
I was thinking we
ESFJ.
should slow down. Amy.
ESFJ.
Alex.
INTJ.
Lauren.
ISFJ.
Danny.
ESFP.
Chris.
ISTJ.
Nick.
ENTP.
Joe.
ENFP. Oh,
So the
baby.
only type that like
We're
repeated was me and Joey, which was ENFP.
And
the only one we have two
Nick
of.
and Dad.
Nick and Dad.
Well, I'm saying out of the kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything else is different, which is cool.
That's a lot of variety.
We have a lot of different types in our family.
Okay, so last thing, guys, there's so much
so many
more.
things. So many
But
things.
last thing we'll just say is like who you've noticed like you tend to be like drawn to with like friends, crushes, and such which and so my teacher used to always say, and such which and so forth. So I am first an ISFJ magnet. Lauren, shout out. I have so many so many friends exactly like Lauren, TBH.
Okay,
Not
I
exactly.
don't know
Not
about
exactly. No, not exactly. But I have so many ISFJ friends. Yeah, ISFJ. Is that my main one? ISFJ.
ENFPs, your husband.
ENFPs. You also
I don't think I'm a magnet.
you
for
like
them.
ESFPs too, like girlfriends.
Oh, yeah,
you have
I
those super
love
outgoing. friends.
ESFP, ENFP, ISFJ, ISTP. Definitely connect with that one a lot. I would
I
probably
don't.
Love them.
draw that line there,
Mm.
right? ENTJs and
I feel like
AKA
I don't
me?
know any yet.
me with other ENTJs, it is a wild ride. Every time I've met them, I'm like,
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's kind of
like-
rare.
it's like fireworks in a bad way.
Mm.
It's not right.
Okay.
So yeah, I would kind of. It's not that I don't have friends, the other ones, but those are my main. Oh, INFJs, duh, INFJs. Hello,
Oh, I love INFJs.
INFJs and I.
I don't.
What about you? What are
Mine.
you, a
Okay,
magnet?
my number one is ESFJs.
Is Amy?
I love ESFJs.
You and Lisa both love
They're
me.
so
Lisa, yeah.
fun, but they're structured, so it kind of helps me, stay in
Oh
line.
yeah.
And they're just fun. And it's like our I feel like we bring our E out of each other. And we're like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it. But then
I love ENFPs.
I
love
also
'em.
love introverts so much. Like so many of my friends are ISFJs or INFJs.
Yeah,
I would
why
say,
do we have the same friends?
Yeah, I would say ESFJ, ISFJ, and INFJ. I don't really like INFPs.
Oh wait, I have a lot of INFP friends. I forgot to say
I will
that.
randomly have like an NT friend. But sometimes it kind of scare me a little. 'Cause, okay, T's in general, NFs are very sensitive. I feel like we struggle with T's. We're kind of like, please don't hurt me.
That helped me be more sensitive. Have you ever met another ENTJ woman though? Ever?
I don't
Yes,
know.
Like in work settings, I feel like we have.
Oh yeah, and I
can't
was
remember
always
who
a
they
little
are,
scared.
but-
I was like,
I can't remember.
I don't know any personally.
I'm not scared of you because
Probably
I
met
know
some.
you, but I feel like if I met you, I'd be kind of like,
Wait, after this,
Yeah, I get that a lot.
No.
okay,
I can't.
More?
oh
Oh
yeah, Lauren.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been friends, like I'm looking back, I've been friends with so many types.
Yeah, you're
ENTJ,
very-
ENFP, ESFP, INFJ, ISFJ.
You're
like,
very just like compatible with
INTP, I don't know.
compatible with more, I would say.
Yeah, I generally don't like maybe ISTJs. I'm not friends with because we're too boring together.
Oh,
We're
wait.
like, hey.
I didn't say that. I love ISTJs. I forgot to say that. I love ISTJs. Oh wait, and INTJs. I love them too.
So you love everyone.
No. That was only 5.
INTJ is my enemy.
No, ISTJ and INTJ, I love talking to them. They're
I
so
think
great to talk to.
I don't like a lot of SJs because I feel like they cramp my style
Oh,
too much.
okay.
Trying to be like, that's weird. I'm like, shut up.
Okay.
So, but generally, I'm pretty flexible.
I don't know. I feel like most of my friends are ISFJs.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm pretty solid ISFJ because all my ENFP friends kind of flew the coop.
Oh,
Interesting.
They're not very stable.
So it's kind of fun having
Oh,
sisters.
ISTPs and ISFJs.
Okay. Having sisters of different personalities we wouldn't maybe be drawn to as friends, but then
Yeah.
we end up being BFFs
Yeah,
is cool.
love it.
Lisa, we already said Lisa has a ton of Amy's
ESFJ.
all around her. She surrounds herself with versions of Amy,
and
basically.
and
know.
ISFJs. Lisa loves ISFJs too.
She does?
Yeah, her husband.
But
And a bunch of
ISFJ's
her
plural?
friends.
Really?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll
She
tell you
has
later.
those,
Okay,
like
okay.
chill girls.
Yeah.
Okay. Too bad we didn't go into Lisa's because
It's a wild
Lisa's is INTP is one of the most wild rides, I would say.
Yeah.
And they're so
I love
rare, I
it.
think. And I don't know any INTPs.
They're so freaking funny.
but I love them.
They're so funny.
I'm a
them too.
huge fan of INTPs.
Same.
Anyway, I just don't know any. Let's move on. So, anyway, we got way more to say. I'm curious to see all the fans. People just get really into arguing about this. At the end of the day, it's supposed to help you, though. It's supposed to just give you insight on yourself so you can like get to know yourself and like develop like your weaknesses and stuff like that.
yeah,
That's at the end
and
of
it's
the
not
day.
an end all be all. It's just
At
a
the end
starting
of the day,
place.
it's
Yeah, it's not an end all be all. And none of them is better than the other. It's
No.
more like everyone gets along with different ones and has different
Yeah.
preferences.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's really what it is. None of them are better. Just like to you personally, right?
Yeah.
To me personally, clearly I have strong opinions on that. Amy only has one type she's friends with, so
I
she has the
literally
most
was
strong-
trying to think. All my friends are like ISFJs or ISFJs.
Okay, you're the real
or
ISFJ magnet.
ISTP.
Wow.
Or
That's wild.
ISTJ. I had ENFP friends in my past life. I don't know.
I like S is better.
Ha ha!
Probably.
That's weird.
Gotcha.
That's disturbing. Anyway, let's move on.
It's just a balance, you know.
Let's move on. I like, not S's who are like super far on. When S's are really far on one side, they hate me. Hate
Yeah,
me.
they're like,
hate
what?
me. Wait, which type is your? Okay, wait. Last thing.
Oh,
which
who's
type,
your enemy?
Who is your
enemy?
number one enemy that hates you or you cannot stand them?
Oh.
I feel bad.
I'm just gonna think of a guy who insulted me and made me cry at a party
Not a
in front of
person.
everyone, and it was an INTJ. And I feel like that type in general, very insulting to me, very offensive. But I mean, I do like some of them.
That's true. That's
But
true.
most of the time, I'm like,
Well, actually, no, I don't feel bad. My enemies are ISFJs, which is me,
Yeah.
and INFPs, because both of them are rude to me.
Wait, that's why you don't like any of my friends.
That's why I don't like your friends.
Yeah.
Not your friends now.
No, I have great friends.
Who's my number one enemy?
INFPs.
No, I have
No,
a lot of
wait.
NFP friends.
Is it ISF?
It's something
I'm
with a strong
thinking-
S. It's S. It's IS.
Is it unhinged ISFJs?
It's SF. It's maybe ISFJ or ISFP. One
It
of them.
might be ISFP.
It's one of those two.
ISFPs, baby.
It's one or both of those two. When
Well,
they
I think
go,
of one person, actually.
it's
yeah,
those.
yeah,
it's,
yeah. Same.
It's that type. When their S is all the way on this end, they hate me.
I feel like
and I cannot stand.
ESTJs also clash with you, like men
Yeah.
specifically.
It's different. Definitely men versus women. Whatever on that one, I would say. On all of them, I would say. ESTJ men. Yeah.
TJ, man, you just need to take a relaxing bath. You just need to chill.
I like them.
I feel.
You know what?
They're just very uptight. I'm just like, okay, let's take a bath. Let's tone it down a little. They're just like, okay. Like the men specifically. I don't know why that is.
The thing that sucks though about those certain like far end of the spectrum S types is that they are very triggered by me or strong ends really trigger them
I wonder why.
because they don't want to think about all the stuff we talk about.
Oh.
Like, no, stop talking about all that stuff. Don't even go there.
Because, they're like, I'm a normal guy. I'm
Yeah.
cool.
What's that? Yes. No, those hate me. They hate me.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a normal guy.
You're unconventional.
Lauren, you know my enemies.
I don't
I
hate
feel
them as
like.
much as they hate me, though. That's
What
the
are my
problem.
You don't
enemies.
have enemies. You love everyone. I'm like, Amy, they're bullying you to your face. She's like, oh, I didn't think so.
No.
Okay, I feel
Okay.
like Amy's enemies are the types that are like,
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait,
People that
no,
just
we
say
know what it
It's
is.
cringe.
NFs.
no,
Like,
people
really
that
cringe
people that don't
NF.
like when people are loud. And they bully Amy for being loud. I don't know what
Yeah.
type
No,
that is.
she doesn't actually hate them.
I fear them.
Okay, let's move on.
No,
Let's move on.
NF men. That's what it is.
We're moving on.
Love them all, bless them. But
Okay.
I married one. I love NFs. I
Me
married
too.
one, I'm just saying.
I
Good
do
for
too.
them.
They're nice.
Amy's like, I hate you all.
Anyway, moving on.
I said men.
No, I know. Okay.
Sometimes they're real. Okay, moving on. Okay, so anyway, moving on to 5 perspectives. What is your travel style?
Okay,
the
yeah. What does
question.
that mean, Kath? Kath, give us some.
Okay, I was literally thought we were doing such spotlight. Okay, I came up with this question. What is your travel style means? Do you like to have your trips planned down to the minute, or do you like to have nothing planned? Are you somewhere in the middle? Like,
Middle.
do you like to see as
Yeah,
many
middle.
excursions as
Middle.
you can? Or like, what are they called? Attractions?
Oh,
or
tourist
do you like
stuff?
to do nothing, sleep?
I don't like
Lauren's
tourist
travel
places.
style. I like Lauren's travel
What's your
style.
travel style, Laura?
It's in the middle. It's like have enough time in the day to recharge and relax, but also feel like you're making the most of it and like doing things. Like I used to be like, go on vacation to sleep, but if you're going somewhere where there's things to see and do, then you can't just sleep the whole time. But you need enough sleep.
Afternoons are for sleeping.
Yes, you need an afternoon. You need time for the afternoon slump where you go home, you take a nap, or you just have time to chill.
You put on
But
a
then
movie and you sit there.
you plan out the day, but loosely, where there's room for like there's buffer time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
great travel companion.
Same. You?
Yeah, I think that's me in the middle.
Wow.
Also, too, it's like how much do you like to research beforehand? I like to research a lot.
I go on TikTok and I search the name of the place,
Oh,
and then I
good
look at people's
idea.
videos. I'm like, that's pretty.
true.
Me and S. That's
Listen,
pretty. That's pretty.
let me tell you, I realized I have never planned or gone on a vacation really of my own doing.
Hey.
So
You deserve it.
You hate traveling.
yeah, I
Like,
follow.
I want to be home.
No,
and do my laundry on Friday.
Yes. I follow people around.
Yeah.
That's how I get out of the house. So I'd plan nothing, do nothing, be nothing. So I'm like, that's what I've learned about myself. And
You
so
should try.
I'm like, one time I should travel actually for fun.
You should.
Yeah.
I send Amy and Lauren travel
You
videos
do.
all the time. So I'm
I
just trying to get
know.
them to travel.
You and Lisa send me reels on Instagram like once a week, and they're like, you should go to this national park. You should go here. I'm like,
Okay, I will. Oh, I should, duh.
too many places
That's
to
true.
go.
I'm just like, I want you guys
Oh.
to travel so I can live through you because I have 2 toddlers and it's very hard to travel.
Yeah.
But they send me national parks mostly.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, because they're so pretty. There's like
Which I would go
wildflowers,
to. No, yes.
sunsets. Oh,
All right,
It's
let's go
pushing
on to the sister spotlight.
all right. Cut the graphics, Lauren.
All right, Lauren, go. I know I'm so tired.
Okay.
But I could still keep talking about it, but I've stopped
Stop.
myself. I
All right.
stopped.
So this question is from,
stopped.
ironically, Taylor. How was the Eras tour concert?
Oh.
From Taylor. Wow.
It was great, beautiful. I cried a lot.
Good.
I mean, it was just like, how can I really describe it to you? It's just like such an experience. I can't even tell you.
Okay.
You gotta
Love
be
it.
there yourself.
Okay. Also from Taylor, what is the difference between mixing and mastering?
That's a good question.
Oh, yeah.
She's talking about on a song, if you don't know
okay.
that term.
I think the most simple explanation is mixing is like you have each instrument and each vocal track on its own track, and you're going through all these tracks and like making little things on each track. But then mastering is you bounce it all down to one track of everything and you make tweaks on just the whole track. I don't know how to explain it.
No, that was a good explanation.
The way that mastering feels to me is like this.
Compressing?
It glues everything together.
Love
Interesting. I did not know that. I probably should know
Yeah,
that.
like I mix and everything's good, but then I do the mastering and it's like it's just like
click.
click. Yeah.
Love it.
It's giving shapewear.
All right.
Yes.
Vivian has got a very unique question. She said, would you rather have no way of contacting your sisters for a whole month, or would you have to live in a room with all 5 of them for a month?
Wait, that is such a
Live
good
in
one
a
for this
room?
episode.
No way of contacting any of you for a month or live in a room with
Like
you.
we all live in the same
for
room.
a
Like
month.
you think there's like
I would not contact you.
Oh my
It's a
gosh, I
month.
would live in the room.
It's just a month.
I would cry every day.
I would love that. Would be fun.
I would live in the room.
That
It
would be so fun.
Living, we're stuck in a room for a month.
No,
just
not
us.
That way, we would have
you're
so
not like trapped. You can like go out and do things.
We would
You
have
live.
we would have so many funny conversations.
Oh, if we're just living together, I already did that.
We have
Yeah,
a
I do
No,
that.
sleepover.
but we all share rooms. There's no personal space, basically. is
No,
what they're
think
saying.
about how fun that would be.
fun.
A sleepover every
actually,
night.
I'm down to do
Guys,
that
the
for a month.
conversations we'd have
Yeah,
by the end.
no,
Oh, yeah.
that's fun.
You guys should
don't-
ditch the kids one of these days. We should
Yeah,
have a
they
sleepover.
are.
We
We
should.
should. And they go do this and that. I would actually like to do that.
That would be
Okay.
fun.
Maybe not for a
Hey,
month,
I put my
though.
kids to bed at 7:30
Maybe
and then I'm
like
off for the
a
night.
week.
So just saying.
Yeah, we should do that. We should do a sleepover.
That'd be fun.
Okay, this from Morgan. What is the best kind of glow up?
What?
What?
I don't know. I just want to see what your answer was.
What is... I don't know what you're saying. Next.
I feel like that was like a very end question. Kind of like abstract. Okay. This is from Melissa, not Melissa. Melissa. Have you ever regretted moving to Tennessee?
Have I ever regretted it? No. How would I regret it though? I was like 15. I didn't make the
I
choice.
regret that my
Like, I
family
regret
did this.
that I went with my family. I wish I stayed emancipated
stayed
at
home.
15. No, I actually have never
You were
regretted
that
it
young?
though.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, great choice.
All right. That's
Is
it,
that
guys.
it? Oh, okay.
Well,
That's
thank you
it.
guys.
There you have it.
That's it, guys. Well, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Cimorelli podcast. Follow Cimorelli on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find Cimorelli on Facebook and Instagram.